Hello friends and welcome back. In this lecture we will implement a transaction class in Java. And here is the class. It is called a transaction. It has a private char type and this type can be D or W. D for deposit and W for withdrawal. Alright? It also has a private double amount, which is the amount of this transaction, whether it is deposit or withdrawal. Then we have a private double balance. And this balance is the balance after transaction. So after applying the transaction, whether it is deposit or withdrawal, we will store the value of the new balance in this attribute over here. After that, we have a private date, and this represents the date when this transaction happened. And finally, we have a small description, which is a private string description. And as you see over here, we only have one constructor, which takes a character, two doubles, and a string. So we have the same thing regarding the attribute date. We will instantiate it inside the constructor. So pause the video and try to implement this class. So let's go to IntelliJ. So as you can see, I created a transaction class. So let's get started with the attributes. We have a private char type, and as we said, this can be W or D. We also have a private double amount and a private double balance. Now let's define the date. So private date, and we will use the date from java.util. And it's called date. And finally, we have a private string, which will be the description. Alright. Now, let's use IntelliJ to generate the constructor. Press Alt and Insert, choose constructor, and let's choose all the fields except the date. Now, let's generate the constructor, and here it is. Alright. Now, at the end of the constructor, we want to instantiate the date, so that it contains the current date and time. So let's say this.date is equal to a new date, like this. And this is our class. Now as you see, we don't have getters and setters inside this class. So this is an immutable class, because after we create an object using this class, we will not be able to change the value of any attribute of that object. Now we want to make changes to the account class. So have a look over here. We want to add a private field that is called client of type client. This field will represent the client that owns this account. And we also want to add a private transactions, which is an array list of transactions. We created this class right now, alright? After we add these two fields, we want to modify the constructor, withdraw and deposit. In the constructor, now we want to receive the client, which is the owner of this account. And inside the withdraw, if the withdraw was successful, we want to add a transaction of type withdraw to the transaction array list. Similarly, in the deposit, we want to add a transaction of type deposit to the transactions array list. So pause the video and try to do this. So let's go to IntelliJ. Here is our account class. So let's add a private field of type client, and it's called client. Also, we want to add a private array list, and each element in this array list is a transaction, and it is called transactions. Now, in the constructor, we want to receive the value for the client. So let's add a parameter client. And now inside the constructor, we will assign this.client to be equal to the parameter like this. Also, we want to instantiate the transactions array list. So let's do that over here. So this.transactions is equal to a new array list. So now the transactions attribute is no longer null, and we can add a transaction to it, alright? Now we still need to modify the withdraw and deposit methods. Let's start with the withdraw method. So if the operation wasn't successful, we don't want to do anything. But if the operation was successful, we want to add a transaction of type withdraw to the transactions array list. So over here, let's say this.transactions.add, and we want to add a transaction over here. So new transaction, and the type in this case is W, because it is a withdraw. The amount is the same amount that we got as a parameter, which is the amount to be withdrawn. So we pass amount over here, and the balance after applying the transaction is the attribute balance. So over here we can say balance, or we can say this.balance. It is the same thing. And after that we will put a small description, and let's say withdrawn, and let's concatenate the amount that was withdrawn. So concatenate amount, and this is the code. Now let me tell you this. I passed the balance over here because this statement will be executed after updating the balance. If you are executing this statement before updating the balance, then this parameter over here should be different. In this case, we should pass balance minus the amount. Alright, so pay attention to this point. But I'm going to apply this statement after updating the balance like this. And this is it. Now let's modify the deposit method. So over here, also after updating the balance, I'm going to add a new transaction. So I'm going to say this.transactions.add, and we will have a new transaction. The type in this case is D, the amount is the amount, and the balance is also the balance. As I said, we can say balance or this.balance, it is the same. But for consistency, let's use this.balance. And over here we will say deposited, and let's concatenate the amount like this. The description can be anything you want, alright? And this is it. So the idea over here is that whenever we make a transaction, whether it is a withdraw or deposit, we are keeping track of all the transaction inside the transactions list. Perfect. Now let's add getters and setters for the client. So at the bottom, before the toString method, let's press Alt and Insert, and let's use getters and setters. I want to create getters and setters for the client. So we are supposing that we are able to get and change the client after creating the account. Now what about the transactions array list? I want you to pause the video and think a little bit. Should we create a getter and a setter for the transactions array list or not? So I hope you are done. In my case, I will not create a getter and a setter for the transactions array list, because I want to modify the transactions array list only when we call the deposit or withdraw method. I don't want whoever uses the class to be able to get a reference to the transactions array list, because I don't want him to be able to make any changes to the array list without calling the withdraw or deposit methods. Also, we don't want anyone to change the value of the transactions attribute, so I will not create a setter. So this is our modified account class. In the next video, we will write a small program and try this class. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.